All right, and welcome to Kneecap Biting with Smokin Jeremy B. I do not own the rights to this music.
Here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out Kneecap Body by Jeremy Smokin.
All right, and here it is, Kneecap Biting with Smokin Jeremy B. I got a couple comments coming in, but first I want to introduce everybody. I'm going to start down at the bottom my right. David Lion Insider, David Pike is here, and I want to say thank you again for your gesture. When somebody tells me they got a gift for me, I'm thinking, oh, cool, he might have got me a Lions watch or a hat or a t-shirt. No, this guy humbled me, made me tear up. He got me my first favorite Lions autographed 1980 Offensive Rookie of the Year inscribed jersey for Billy Sims. I thank you again, David. I wanted everybody who watches to hear you did that for me because you deserve all the credit in the world for it. It was a fantastic gesture. Next to him, we have Dan Leonard from Pennsylvania, a Giants fan and pseudo Lions fan. I met him on We Are Lions Nation podcast. We became close friends. He's now a sponsor of the show with his Mad Lab Custom Creations. And of course, we got Lions Rumble 81. Lorenzo, how you doing, my man?
Man, how you doing, Smokin G?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thanks. Lion King, I replied in the comments, but how can I get a grit hat? I'm asking the same damn question.
From what I heard, Dan Campbell had those hats specifically special made for him and his coaches. But I guarantee you, much like those 313 shirts, they're going to have fans going nuts trying to get their hands on them.
In 2 months, they'll be out for sale just like everything else he's had custom made.
Or Absolutely. Just hop online and order yourself one. Have it made for you.
Yep. Andrew Merklinger says, Smokin Jeremy B, what's up, Lions family? And he comes back and says, Colin Cowherd is finally seeing the light. He's finally saying the Lions are not to be slept on. Holy crap. I think Wayne Font's probably, if he isn't dead already, he just died. Yeah, I read that too.
I was about to say, when you start getting Colin Cowherd to actually start saying something, the only people left that you are like wondering who's going to jump on the bandwagon is Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp.
And my dad of 73 years young was right there with me, beside me at Lions Family Fun Fest, watching the practice. He comes in and says, what's up, guys? And Lion King repeats himself. How can I get my hands on a grit hat? As soon as I find out, I will post a link in my shows when it comes up. I want to thank everybody. I am up to 136 subscribers, so please go over to YouTube, subscribe, like, and share this with every Lions page you're on. I don't care if they hate me. I don't care if they love me. Haters will bring you more people than lovers will.
This is true. This is very true.
I got plenty of those.
Oh, look at this. He has us winning 7 games. Colin said he wouldn't be shocked if we won 9. He said our schedule is very favorable. Wow. Where have I heard that before?
I was about to say, we have all said that.
Zaquan says, yo. What's up, Zaquan? All right, let's get into it. It is an Wednesday, not for giving flowers either. So put an FTP in the chat, as we love to do every day we're on Talking Lions football. That being
Amen.
said, Goff looks poised and more confident than ever and had total command of the offense Saturday when I watched it. He went 13 of 17 for 176 yards. His only errant throw should have been an errant throw. He was being chased down from behind. It was second down. He threw it out of bounds. He was outside the pocket. It's not a penalty. It's not a loss of down. It was a great play, actually. That being said, what do you think about hearing that, Lorenzo?
Yeah, I mean, it's something we want him to do, man. We want to limit the turnovers. We don't need him to be a hero. Like give our team an opportunity to win. So as long as he can keep that mindset during the season, I think that says a lot about his growth as the Detroit Lions shot caller.
Yep. Dan, what do you think hearing that?
What do I think hearing that? Of course he's going to be better this year and have a command over the offense because it's not Taylor to Tyrod Taylor.
My thoughts exactly. David, and you've been at camp every day. I know you've seen more than I have. Give us your thoughts on Goff, and don't go too over the top. I know how you like to.
I mean, I'll say this. I mean, there have been times in camp that Goff has started a little slow. There was one practice where I think the first 3 or 4 throws he threw, they were behind. They were not on target. But if there's one thing I will say about Goff this year, a lot of people wanted to say that Goff looked timid last year. He wasn't willing to throw the ball deep. He wasn't willing to stretch the field. Every single day I have been at training camp, and if you guys listen to the reports from Tim Twentyman and from Mike O'Hara, they say the exact same things I've been saying. He is throwing the ball down deep, and Chark, Reynolds, St. Brown, Raymond, they're all benefiting from it. I've literally seen several of those types of catches, and Jeremy can say it, that Chark made at the Family Fun Fest, where he's literally like diving out and getting these catches by his fingertips because Goff is leading him like 30, 35 yards down the field. So this idea that Goff is not able to throw it deep, I think Goff is challenging that narrative very much so this year, because I actually remember hearing it in an interview. He's like, wait, the Lions throw deep? No, that's not possible. We don't do that here.
Yep. And let's welcome in a resident Packers fan, Chance Brown. How you doing, Chance?
Good. How are you guys?
What do you think? What do you think of Christian Watson going in for knee surgery?
I'm not worried about it.
You should be a little bit.
Worried about it.
All right. I got a few comments to get to before we get to the next subject. Stephen King says, evening, guys. And my dad comes back and my screen says 141 subscribers. They all subscribed just before we did the show. That's amazing. Thank you, guys. Facebook user says FTP. Stephen King says FTP only on the days that end in Y. And Andrew Merkler, the week 1 best bet in odds has the Lions beating the Eagles. Woo!
I guarantee you to some extent that might be the Hard Knocks effect, but I still love hearing it nonetheless.
Absolutely.
Lion King, I'm going to disagree a little bit. Jared Goff has a little bit better than limited talent. He did help a team. Granted, it wasn't all him. He had a good team around him. It just wasn't a great team because the entire team failed in the Super Bowl they got to. But he helped them get there. And Ben Sarah comes in and says, FGB.
Don't forget, Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl.
Rob Johnson.
Joe Flacco.
Brad Johnson.
Yeah, Rob Johnson got to one. I forgot.
Well, actually, Rob Johnson actually does have a Super Bowl win as a backup.
Right.
And who else was it? Nick Foles?
Yeah.
Whoa! Listen.
Hey, there was not a better backup than Big Dick Nick. Can't say anything more than that. The chemistry between Goff and the wide receivers is so evident, it's palpable. I mean, you just heard it from David. He's hitting guys in stride downfield. This is something we didn't get to see a lot of yet last year because the separation downfield wasn't there until after week 10. Hey, wait, what changed in week 10? Oh, yeah, that's when Lynn quit calling plays. Oh, big difference there.
I thought that was stopped crying that he got traded to Detroit.
I've actually seen some stuff in camp that's rather impressive as far as play calling is concerned too. And
yeah,
I actually saw the Lions run a trick play in practice today. Not today, a couple of days ago. The basic premise of the play was they ran a toss play outside, gave it to the wide receiver who threw it back to Goff on the opposite side of the field. And who would be down the field streaking on a crossing route? That'd be Chark, who was wide ass open.
Of course, because when it's a running play going one way and he's doing a route that takes him across the field back where the quarterback's at, he should be wide open because they're not paying attention to him.
Does that not worry you about the DBs, though? Because the DB should be playing his position, not the ball.
When if it's a run, it looks like a designed run play, the DBs will chase the run. It happens all the time.
But
look at don't say it didn't happen because Jair Alexander bid on that flea flicker to Tom Kennedy.
Yeah, it shouldn't. You should play the receiver, not the ball.
Yep, you're right. They should, but they don't, and it happens even with the best of them. Jair Alexander, for example.
Hey, I was about to say, I'll even admit that Jair Alexander is one of the best cornerbacks in the league. You guys are lucky to have him.
He is the
best.
I'll just say this. I mean,
he's the top 3. I will give him that because I think Ramsey's a little better.
Yeah, that's true. Ramsey.
When I look at the chemistry that Goff has had in this offseason and particularly at training camp, one of the things that has really impressed me is that for today, perfect example, they had like a 10-minute period where they were working on special teams. And who would you expect to see on the other end of the field running routes? Jared Goff took Hawkinson, Reynolds, and Chark, and he's like, all right, for the next 10 minutes, we're going to be working on routes. And they were specifically working on routes throwing to the back of the end zone and the corner of the end zone with toe tappers. Make sure you get your feet down for tight throws, concentration throws. And I'm like, this is why you're seeing Goff look so good in practice, because even when he could take a break, even when the wide receivers could be resting, they're still working.
Right. Lorenzo, what do you think about this chemistry going on?
Yeah, I think Goff took it upon himself to, just off his sheer pride and just passion for the game to just say we're not going to be the same old Lions anymore. And I think the coaches and the coaches are credit for that, along with the Ben Johnson's faith in him. So Ben Johnson, like you said earlier, you touched on that they're this offense is around Goff, his strengths, and so Goff has taken it upon himself. He's familiar with the playbook. He's got confidence in his OC. His OC has confidence in him. He's starting to build a confidence with his receivers. So I mean, the sky's the limit, man. If this guy and these receivers, if they get on the same page, I think we're in for a huge treat this year.
Amen.
Should be fun.
Chance, as the outside guy looking in, what do you think when you hear all this?
I think he's showing significant improvement, and I do think that he is way better, starting from week 10 to even now, way better. And the only problem I have with Goff is Goff was on a Super Bowl team and couldn't push them over. So
yeah, wait. The whole team failed. The whole team failed. It wasn't just one guy. It was all 53 of those mofos on that field couldn't do shit. It's bad when you got the best defensive player in the NFL in Aaron Donald, and he doesn't get but 1 sack and 3 assisted. Who had better stats in that game? Ndamukong Suh.
But let me finish. Okay, he was with the second best coach in the NFL and couldn't get where he is. I would say he's not where he is now with McVay as he is with MCDC. So is why is it he's all of a sudden going to win with Dan Campbell and not LaFleur or not LaFleur, McVay? You know,
Not
like
McVay, because after that Super Bowl season, some shit went down in the background, and you've all heard it. You know what it was. And
Yeah, he banged his
McVay got
girlfriend.
jealous. He didn't bang him. He wanted to bang him. There's a difference.
I think he was probably sliding in his DMs like Debo was to Jake Paul's girlfriend today.
But what's Dan Campbell going to do that McVay couldn't do? Because
McVay is a nice. Okay, wait. McVay is a nice X's and O's guy, but he has the motivation factor of a snail.
Well, Dan Campbell could motivate a rock. I mean,
exactly my point.
But
that is why I see better things for Goff here than in LA.
But motivation doesn't win football games.
I know exactly. Can I interject something here? I know exactly where he's going with this. If Dan Campbell's the motivating factor, how can you say that Goff is going to do the same things that he did in LA? 2 words for you. Ben Johnson. That's my answer.
I'll go a step further. I think he was in an interview where he said when he played in LA, nobody knew him. He could go to a restaurant. He was like, nobody really knew me. Nobody.
You're right. He said that he was like on a list of 250 other people that were ahead of him on. Exactly. I wasn't even really the center of attention. Nobody knew me.
The city has rolled the red carpet out for him. He knows now, like this is a football city. So now it's like everybody knows him now. So kudos to him for hopefully he's able to manage that. And I think that says a lot too, man. He feels wanted. He feels like he belongs here. He feels like this is where he needs to be right now.
I'll just say this one real quick thing on top of that. In the 2 days, in the days I went to training camp, this is something that a lot of people will not believe me when I say this. Because considering how Goff started last year and how people wanted to get rid of Goff, I shit you not. When Goff would be over by the family and friends section talking with people, as soon as he would turn any direction that there were fans that were waiting for signatures, this is what you would hear. Goff, Goff, Goff. They wanted him to come over and sign their stuff. They wanted to interact with him. It's like, listen, Goff realizes that this is a team, a city that wants him around. Granted, there are people that don't like him, but there are a lot of people that do like him. They do want him around. And I guarantee you, from being in an environment in LA where you are like one of 6 or 7 other sports franchises like the Lakers, the Clippers, the Dodgers, which have much more larger fan bases than the Rams do, it's like you're not the center of attention.
The Kings.
The Rams never should have went back to LA.
You're right.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
He's not a big market guy, and I think that does help him that he is in a smaller market like Detroit. And I will say, he does give them a chance to be second in the division.
You say a smaller market. The Rams were at home in the Super Bowl. There was less home fans than away fans. They only had, what was it they said, 850,000 people by Nielsen ratings watching the Super Bowl in LA. Detroit, the metropolitan area plus the suburbs, had 3.3 million people watching. The number one market watching the Super Bowl.
But that's the Super Bowl. The fans.
No, but it's huge. That's huge if you think about it.
The fans in the stadium is, I mean, there's people from all over the world buying those tickets. That's, I mean, and they're allocated out. So many people in LA could only get so many tickets. So I mean,
they don't sell out their stadiums. They don't give a shit about the Rams in LA.
No,
think about it this way. You really want to burn Rams fans' asses? For a family fun fest day, we had 18,000 people at Ford Field. It wasn't even a game. It was a scrimmage practice. We had 18,000 people there just to watch the Lions practice.
But look at how much Sheila Ford, or whatever her last name is now, cares about the Rams. And look at how much, and I hate Kroenke. He owns a ranch here in Texas in the town that I live in. Look at how much Kroenke cares about the Rams. Kroenke does not care about the Rams. He owns 4 other franchises.
He's a part of a conglomerate that owns like 4 other franchises. You're right.
An international soccer team. He could care less about the Rams. He could care less about the Sheila Ham or Ford, whatever you want to call it. She cares about the lines, and it shows, and that's why the lines are improving the way they are.
Exactly. Okay, I got some comments to get to. Dan, give your point real quick.
I just wanted to ask real quick. Doesn't Kroenke own the freaking Avalanche too?
Yes, he owns the Avalanche. He owns Chelsea Soccer Club. He owns the Denver Nuggets, and he owns the Rams.
And isn't he a part of the same
brother-in-law
conglomerate?
Now owns the Broncos.
And his brother-in-law, Broncos.
Yeah, he's a part of that same conglomerate that owns all of that, right?
His wife is whatever Walton.
Right. All right. My dad comes in. I keep forgetting about the best backup ever, Earl Morrall, who never won a Super Bowl because he didn't get to play in it because his coaches were assholes, but that's another story. Ben Sarah says, on the subject of Roquan Smith, would you give the Rams first rounder and a clean trade for him? I have my thoughts, but what do you guys think? A sure pro baller instead of taking a chance on one. If they were willing to trade him in the division and we could do that, I actually would do that right now because we could actually tell him, hey, you'll get your bag next season when we got the money. We can't afford to do it this year.
I honestly would do something else. I would be like, listen, screw trading that first rounder. What I'll do is I'll give you a second rounder and I'll give you one of our bottom wide receivers that are not likely to start. That'd be what I
one better than that. I'll give you Alex Anzalone, the first round pick, and a third, just to take Anzalone.
Hell, they would take that trade. They're going to want at least 2 firsts and something else.
I said a first, a third, and Anzalone. You ship Anzalone with them because they're going to have to fill that middle linebacker spot with somebody, and it'll be a body.
Roquan Smith.
1 first isn't going to be enough for that guy. They're going to need
a first and a third.
They're going to need at least 2 firsts for that guy.
They're not getting 2 firsts for an off-ball linebacker. It's not happening in the NFL. The market's not there for that.
I don't think he's worth 1 first-round pick.
That's why I said I would trade a second rounder for him and a decent wide receiver because the Bears are in such desperate need of wide
Anzalone in. I don't care who we throw in with it. Anzalone goes to.
You just don't like Anzalone. That's the whole point of the matter.
You know my nickname. It's Annalise because he's the defense. I lunch tackle me at the feet of running backs. I watched it way too many times last year.
I know. That's why I said I just know you don't like him. You just want him out of town.
And Ben Sarah says, we aren't going to trade up for a QB next draft unless Goff gets a lobotomy. It would be dumb to take that route. I agree. Facebook user comes in and says, exactly. I don't know what point he was talking about because it's been a minute. And he says, Goff has more assurance and stability than in LA. He's being taught to as an adult. And I think that goes a long way with Goff.
Now,
instead of being treated as a kid that has a shiny toy, he's actually being treated like an adult and being held responsible for something.
The Rams only had 17,000 season ticket holders, not including box seats. And Eric Sean says, love you, Ken Ballrick, because he was there with us and he met my dad at Fun Fest.
Yes, he did.
And Big Dan Davis, did y'all see Jamal Williams give that fans a whoo yeah? Yes, I did. He went, oh yeah?
I love Jamal Williams. I had a great interaction with him at training camp, actually.
Ben Sarah says they'd give us a third rounder back to keep Anzalone.
I truly believe they would.
No way. 2 seconds in Annalise.
Do y'all really think the Bears would trade y'all Roquan Smith?
No.
No, they wouldn't. I don't think
I know who you're talking about.
I don't think they trade inside the division. I don't think they do that.
Eric Sean asked the panel, who likes Fabio Zalone?
Not this individual.
No.
I like Anzalone at the line. I don't like him anywhere away from that.
Eric Sean, that was Billy Sims, and I did say thanks for it.
Yeah, I was about to say, if that was Barry Sanders,
I wouldn't have been given. It wouldn't have been given. He knows I got a Barry Sanders mini helmet. He just knew Billy Sims was my first favorite Lions player.
Well, I know you always talk about the play that made him your favorite, the karate kick.
You want to know who my all-time favorite line is?
Who?
this guy right here.
Uh-oh.
I'm curious to see who he pulls out.
What's that name? We can't read it.
Oh, that's
Calvin,
the one.
Who?
Calvin Johnson.
Megatron.
Oh, yeah.
Of
Megatron?
course.
Absolutely.
Me,
And Ben Sarah says for a first rounder, yes, the Bears would. They are desperate. And
They are desperate. I will grant you that.
DC8091 hops in and says, howdy, boys. Well, seeing how my sponsor's on the air with me, tell everybody about Mad Lab Custom Creations.
Okay, everybody. Over at Mad Labs here, I customize mini helmets, full-size helmets, and pretty soon we'll be doing some baseball helmets and hockey helmets as well. Everything is usually autographed already. Ton of different styles, different creations and shit. That helmet that Chance just showed you, he got that one from me. Pretty much all the JBs came from there.
I'll show you.
Check this out.
Oh, this is a customized one. Let's see that paint job.
Can you flip the camera on this?
I don't know if you can or not.
You have to go back into like where it says settings and then.
Oh yeah, you can see the paint.
You
job.
can see it.
Oh yeah, that's.
Who is that? Is that Drew Brees?
That's Drew Brees.
Wow.
Awesome work.
Yeah,
awesome work.
Drip. That is. Yeah, that's some good drip.
Here's another one. One more. It's a little better color.
A little better.
To say, it sounds like Dan's been quite busy.
Oh, Dan's always busy.
Well, that's because the guys over at Radkey Sports believes that he invented the drip, right? Even though the shit was around since the 1940s. And he gave me crap about it the one day. So now I make sure that I do more drips than anybody, and I'm bigger names than he's willing to touch. And I call him a pussy about it every time.
Well, Ben Sarah, I'm going to correct you a little bit on this. I'll read your comment. Remember that what Holmes doctored up with the draft trade, that was unheard of. This is more realistic. The trade to get from Minnesota to get JMO. They called Brad Holmes and offered that trade. He didn't have to doctor it at all. As soon as he heard what the trade was, they were like, yeah, we'll take it.
In fact, if you go back to the Inside the Dens episode that was about that specific section, Brad Holmes specifically said that they already had that deal worked out before draft day even started. And he called the GM to make sure, hey, do we still have a deal in place? And Quasi said, yes, we still have a deal in place.
You know why I think that trade really came about, though? Besides just moving them up in the second a little bit like that, moving them back in the first helps their salary cap issues they had.
Yeah, exactly. They do have a little bit of cap held, but they're considered a closer team talent wise than what the Lions was.
Yes.
So they wanted to make it sure that they're not getting hosed cap wise down the road again.
Exactly.
So they traded back to get the 32nd pick, which is basically almost no difference from the first pick in the second round. Then they traded back our second pick in the second round to save even more cap.
And all the while, I will
traded back twice with division rivals makes that GM the stupidest GM I ever heard of.
Well, now, you know what? I'm not going to say that for the next 3 years. I want to see what those picks turn into.
Well, that was what I was about to say. I was about to say trading in the division, yes, that was stupid, but he still got good value for those picks. He got Luisine with the 32nd overall pick. That's a good value pick there.
Yes, it is.
So even while the trades didn't look all that smart, he was smart to get the value that he did at the picks that he had.
Absolutely. I hate trading in the division personally. I still hold a deep resentment to the Eagles and the Cowboys for fucking me last year.
Right. I hear you.
Let's be honest. The NFC East, they hate everybody. Everybody hates everybody.
On that note,
but when the Cowboys traded with the Eagles so the Eagles could take the receiver we were going to take, and we were like, oh, what do we do? And then we trade back, and Cowboys freaking take freaking Parsons. And I'm like, thanks, guys. That's just as bad as letting Jordan Davis still be on the board this year.
And the worst division in football.
What?
The NFC East. The worst division in football and hates everybody.
They hate everybody, but you know what? They also have the most Super Bowl rings, buddy.
Yes, they do.
Cowboys.
The Cowboys have 5. The Giants have 4. I think the Redskins have 4. The Eagles have 1.
He's not wrong.
We got in this argument earlier. I'm not going. We have the most championships in NFL football.
The only reason you have those championships is because the freaking owner, Tim Mara's brother was an asshole and didn't like Italian people and said there was no way in hell an Italian was going to be the head coach of the football team, and he got rid of freaking Vince Lombardi, and that's when he went out to the Packers.
All right, it's time to give a shout out to my other sponsor, A1 Tire and Auto Repair. 3 locations to serve you. One in Saginaw on Genesee, one in Cucaulin on Old Cucaulin Road, and the one where I work at in Bay City on Broadway. Great used tires at a great price and just as good a price on brand new ones.
Hook me up on tires.
Come on up to Michigan. I got you.
That's a far drive. Tires.
If I pay for shipping, will you ship tires?
I mean, if you want to install them yourself.
My favorite viewer name, Richard Head, comes in and says, I'm just upset we did not draft Malik Willis. Just kidding. Just kidding. Eric Sean says, Leonard, you are an artiste, making it sound pretentious on purpose because artist sounds effeminate.
Eric, I love you, man.
After Millen and Quinn, that is a stretch.
Hey, let me get the great thing about how great of an artist I am.
And Patriots have 6, but okay.
I didn't say Super Bowls. I said championships.
Well, if that's
wait.
4 championships.
The Lions have 4 championships too.
I didn't say they didn't.
But a lot of Green Bay fans try not to count it.
I don't count anything pre-merger.
And I always say, as soon as they say that and they say, well, we've got 18 championships, I was like, you've got 4. If ours don't count, yours don't count either.
Y'all have 4 championships and we have 4 Lombardis.
Yep.
Hey,
congratulations.
How many NFC Championship game losses has Rodgers had? I get you more than the freaking.
Now it's getting fierce. Now it's getting fierce.
Oh man!
I want to get a Rodgers just to toss him in the fire pit and video call.
Yeah, here comes somebody else wanting us to get Roquan Smith. I hope we do.
It's not.
And Eric John says, "Oh, pre-Super Bowl era counts for nothing."
There was a comment on there that I really wanted to ask you about earlier. The guy that came in and said about he wouldn't trade up in this year's draft for a quarterback. I don't know if you would even really need to because, like I was asking you yesterday, I was looking at a lot of the college quarterbacks coming out this year, and it may actually be a pretty good freaking class.
Well, the way I look at it is this: you've got potentially 5 first-round quarterbacks. You've got Young, you've got Stroud, you've got Levis, you've got potentially Spencer Rattler and Slavis. Those are your 5 that potentially are going to go in the first round.
Slavis has no chance to go in the first round. The kid in Coastal Carolina is better.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying Slavis should. I'm just saying as far as marketability with big name. That's all I'm saying. Here's the thing. If you take a look at teams that are most likely going to be in the market to draft a quarterback next year, the Seahawks definitely going to be in the market to draft a quarterback next year. The Bears, if it goes as bad as it does, they might be in the market to draft another quarterback next year.
Not yet.
I don't know.
Okay.
The freaking Cardinals moved on from Rosen after 1 year.
That's just Cliff Kingsbury's a knucklehead. But anyway, Justin Fields has been looking great in training camp, actually.
Well, when you're playing against one of the worst defenses in the league, you should look good.
He's made it close that is what I mean. He looks more poised.
Hey, I'm not going to call him a bust, but I'm still going to call him Bustin' Fields. You know why? Because his ass is going to get busted behind that broken O-line.
PFF has the Bears offensive line ranked 31st going into the season, only better than the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Jaguars improved their offensive line.
Yeah, okay, I don't get that either.
An asshole to a shit turd.
It still stinks. Yeah, I can't name anybody on the Bears O-line.
That's his name. Grayson McCall of Coastal Carolina over Tim Boyle 2.0. Keaton Slovis all day.
I'm telling you, Tyler McCorkle from Miami. He's going to be the sleeper pick in the first round next year.
You say
see what happens.
You just say that because he's from Miami.
Facebook user asks, Bears linebacker, is he on the pup? Yes, he's on the pup because he refuses to play unless they pay him.
They took him off the pup today.
Oh, did they?
Yep.
Good. Wayne Shirk says, Jeremy, I love the Hard Knocks. I did too.
I love Deuce Staley.
Seahawks, Cleveland, Packers, Vikings, and Bears all may be in play for a QB. I'm not going to say the Packers because he just signed that.
The Giants. The Packers aren't going to be
ESPN ranking of our O-line is 29. Ken McWise must be a Bears fan.
No,
Ken
actually, he's
idiot.
Yeah. Ken McWise was actually on my show, and he's actually right because I saw this. ESPN ranks the Detroit Lions line, I think, number 29th or 26th best in the league.
What?
I saw that article. They rank us
How?
that low.
How?
They're basing it off of the fact that we have young talent and it's not proven, such as Sewell or Jackson.
Sewell got proven real quick.
I'm just saying that's their rationale. That's why they have us ranked that low.
No. I figured it out now. Whoever that guy is must be the guy that does Madden ratings.
Yes. Oh, wait. He's the one that made Dan Skipper a tight end on the Madden ratings, which gave him a 29 overall. Somebody said, Jeremy, what was your favorite part of Hard Knocks? That speech that Jamal gave at the end of day one. When he says it was the minimum effort. We've got to do better than this. When you start to feel tired, you need to think about that bleeping record. Because when I think about that bleeping record, I get tired.
I'll tell you this. My favorite part was listening to freaking Deuce and Aaron Glenn going back and forth for 10 to 15 minutes.
That was great.
You didn't tell them we came to play.
Yeah. Why are you circling me? That's what vultures do. We circle our prey before we.
I loved it. I literally was sitting there and I'm like, oh, these guys are so great. But I'm like, it's bittersweet because now everybody else has seen that shit. How much you want to bet they get offered head coaching jobs next year?
Shit, Aaron Glenn was getting a head coaching job next year either way.
I didn't watch it. I heard that Dan Campbell ended it with a D's nuts joke.
He did.
He did.
He actually ended it with Alex Anzalone of all players.
Yep. That's even better yet.
D's nuts.
What did he say? Hey, Alex, they're looking for you. And he said, who? D's nuts?
He's like, D's. He's like, D's who? D's nuts.
That's Dan Campbell.
What a guy, man.
Jamal is my new hero.
Amen.
Yes, I love that speech too, Stephen King, at the beginning about how they're going to tread water till they bury people. It was just an amazing speech when he was talking about grit and integrity and hard work. He just went on, and that was great.
My other favorite part of that speech is he's like, I don't care if you've got one ass cheek and 3 toes, I'll still fight you.
Yeah, I saw a clip of that. That was funny.
Yeah.
What do you guys have week one?
Big Dan Davis, Phil Jurkovic of Boston College will be another good QB coming out after this year. Big QB at 6'5". He has a pro comp to Big Ben, only Jurkovic is a bit more mobile. I like it.
He's have a history of not doing good in the NFL.
God.
Who was the last good BC freaking quarterback?
Matt Ryan, Boston College.
Matt Ryan is the last BC quarter. But what I'm saying is not BC, big quarterbacks have a history of not. Look at what was his name? Paxton Lynch out of Memphis. He was supposed to be
shit to come out.
Speaking of which, there's a guy in the UDFAs I wish the Lions would bring in and kick Boyle to the curb right now.
Eric Barriere.
6 foot 218 pounds. The kid puts up Madden numbers. He played in that Big Sky division in FCS, which is a very heavy defensive division there with Montana State, North Dakota State, and all that. Against the Montana State defense, he put up 500 yards through the air, 5 touchdowns, ran for 180 more and 3 touchdowns in one frickin' game.
You say they're a big defensive, but look at the defensive talent. It's not Division I FBS talent.
Troy Anderson.
I was about to say, Troy Anderson came from that division, and he went in the second round this year, too. Coincidentally enough.
Don't talk about his Madden ratings because he's underrated.
It's
I'm
not
mad at rating dog shit.
okay. For example, look at what Carson Wentz did in FCS.
And he did it in the pros too
No,
until
he
he became a
didn't.
head coach. He had an MVP caliber season until he got hurt.
He's not wrong, Chance. And then he became Carson Wentz.
The best.
And then he became a head case. His quarterback coach went to become the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts, and he was never the same after that. And that is
with Carson
horrible.
Wentz, don't win that Super Bowl.
I think they might have.
I don't know.
Dude, how many times is dude going to tag me in his helmet? I already took a spot that I don't want the damn thing.
Eric Sean, I know I missed Campbell's speech in person, but I did read the whole thing, and it sounded amazing. And Ben Sarah says, what do you guys want to see in the next episode of Hard Knocks? More of Ben Johnson, Okuda, Kirby, Swift, all of the above?
Girlfriend.
And Goff's girlfriend from the swimsuit issue. Yes.
Right, fiance. Yeah. Fiance. Get it right.
Girlfriend, fiance, wife. I don't care. I want to see more of her.
I just want to see more of the players because literally all we got from the first episode was you got Deuce Staley, Aaron Glenn, and Aiden Hutchinson, which, again, I still loved the episode. But I want to see the players. I want to see their interaction with each other.
Nah, I'd be pretty happy just seeing Aaron Glenn and Deuce Staley go back and forth for a full hour every day.
He said a landfill, Stephen King. We will play you on grass. We'll play you on the turf. We will play you on a landfill. We'll play you in the water. We don't care. We will tread water till we bury you.
The landfill's about playing in Jersey.
UDFA, Cade McNamara is still at U of M.
I
was about to say, he hasn't left just yet.
James Burgess, Boyle is awesome. Definitely the next Andre Ware.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, man.
As far as head knocks, I'd like some Brad Holmes for sure. Yes, I would love to see more of that, like out of the war room and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think I would like to see more.
Okuda, yes. That is something I wanted to talk about during there. The Fan Fest, they had him off the field. It was not due to injury. They didn't let him play because they were trying to rest him up because they don't want him to overdo it with the Achilles. He was back out there again this week already, correct, David?
He was. And again, they do that all the time at practice. Like, for example, today was no pads. But Ragnow didn't practice today. He was in shorts and a T-shirt, but he was out there. But nobody thinks he's hurt. It's a rest day.
Yes, that's what it is. You rest certain players all the time. It doesn't matter. But what I will say that I thought was impressive, and my dad pointed it out, we sat and watched him do it like 10 times. He's tossing the ball up in the air about 10 to 20 feet and catching it without looking up behind his back.
Okay.
It was kind of cool.
I'll say this. Has anyone seen that new clip of Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball behind his back?
Yeah.
It's impressive, but I wouldn't advise it.
Well, let me ask you here, though. You know what? When Roethlisberger in the freaking Super Bowl, when he pulled out the Statue of Liberty play, right?
I vaguely remember it a long time ago, but I remember it.
Now you got Mahomes there pulling that same kind of a play, and he could throw it behind his back. So you got a running back there on a freaking running back screen. You got him with that ball down there. Nobody's going to see that around his back. He can have his eyes the other way. He already throws the no-look shit.
Well, the thing is, you just got to be able to make it accurate. You can throw a spiral. You can make it look pretty. Make it accurate. That's all I care about.
That's like the no-look pass. He couldn't. Yep. He did the no-look pass one time, and after that, I mean, he's not accurate with it. It looks cool, but you have to be accurate with it.
Yep. Matt Stanford has one of the best no-look passes in football.
I was about to say, he's perfected that as an art.
That man ain't going to play football again. I'm telling you, he's going to get Tommy John to be done.
We'll be all right with the draft pick.
We'll see.
We'll be all right with the draft pick.
Yep. James Burgess says, as far as players, I'd like to see a lot from the bubble players. Andrew Merklinger said, did anyone see smile when Hutch was singing and dancing? I was smiling and laughing. I ain't gonna lie, he was good at it, but his moves made it laughable to me. It was exaggerated. It was good moves and all, but it was exaggerated. I was just digging it.
Yeah, man, he's got soul.
Stephen King says that was it. Eric Sean says that was OTAs, and so of course not much shown. Andrew, epic Billie Jean. Yes, it was. Eric Sean says, I know Cade is still at U of M. Come on, man. You know, I know my U of M. He is draft eligible after this season and will be a UDFA. Yep. You don't know that for sure. Nobody knows who's going to be a UDFA till after the season's done. It depends on how they play in season.
And realistically, for him, he should stay in school another year and come out the following year where it's a weaker draft class.
All right, let's get on to the next subject here. I don't know if it was being back on Ford Field in front of fans, but Will Harris looked like Will Harris of old, burnt toast and causing penalties.
Yes, it's very true.
I
Very
mean,
true.
but yet at the same time, I do back it up by saying overall, the defense looked 1,000% better than last year.
This
Kudos
is
to that
also
coaching
true.
staff. Yeah, kudos to
Yeah.
them. It's
Yeah,
much
I
more
mean,
attacking as opposed to reacting.
and
always
by
do
the
better-
way, they didn't use that 4-man front as much as everybody thought they would.
Yep.
It is still a 3-4 under scheme, as I've said all along.
You did say that, Jeremy. You did say that. Yeah, you were like, oh, yeah, I don't see them changing the front. And if they do, it's going to be during special packages. But
Right.
kudos to them, man. They got these guys attacking. And, you know, we all like attacking more than we do, like, waiting to react to something. We like to impose our will on people, man. So,
The bend don't break with one down lineman.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, let's have one down lineman, 3 linebackers, and so many defensive backs that we can cover the whole field, but nobody knows where to be.
Right. Like,
Yeah, that.
Bad coaching.
It was bad coaching. That was Matt
Terrible.
Patricia.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
I'm getting you a helmet autograph by him.
I want you to get him to sign it, Patricia. I'll buy it so I can burn it. Make sure you make the logo a pencil.
I'll try my best.
Matt Patricia was it was a plot by Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick knew what he was doing.
Of course. Of course. And look what they got out of it. I mean, what was their first thing was drafting Van Noy, and then what, a year or two later, he just so happens to be on the damn Patriots?
Okay, does Will Harris going by Bill Harris instead make his play any better? It can't make it any worse. Eric Shaw said Will Harris on fire, tackled like a no-armed hitchhiker trying to get a ride.
I mean, it was bad sometimes. I mean, at the very end of Family Fun Fest, they were doing a 2-minute drill, driving the whole length of the field. They were down 14-17. Will Harris, not once, but twice committed penalties that made the drive go longer. He actually face masked Amon-Ra St. Brown for a 15-yard penalty. I'm like, dude, this is the kind of nonsense that gets your ass on the bench. You can't do that crap.
Right. I mean, he was beat. Yes, he closed in on the guy. Hallelujah. He was going to tackle him. He had no reason to reach his hand up to that face mask. And like I said, it's practice. I hated it. And Eric Sean says, you're welcome on Patricia, LOL. The guy's defense has to body tackle by wrapping up their opponents, not just throwing a shot. Well, that's what I was trying to say. That's how I was getting at that the defense looked 1,000% better. They were putting multiple helmets on the ball carriers, which didn't allow them to break for big gains against them. It wasn't like we saw last year where we were hearing about every other run was 25 to 50 yards. That's a huge improvement because that is where we lacked.
I will say this. They've definitely improved in the tackling department because, again, being at training camp, I saw, again, like an improvised version of the Oklahoma drill. They had one guy standing on one side and another guy standing the other. Guy with the ball carrier, okay, tweet, run at each other, tackle the other. Very first drill, freaking you guys saw it on Hard Knocks. Campbell was getting pissed because they would not tackle. They just couldn't tackle worth crap. The next time, they were better. The third time I saw it, it was actually a back and forth. The defense was actually putting heads on bodies. So they've definitely put an emphasis on making sure people were tackling after that first go-around.
Yep. And James Burgess says, sounds like classic Harris. And Big Dan Davis asks, Who's looking forward to hearing Baby Shark over the Ford Field PA system every time DJ Shark scores a touchdown? You know what? Every time he did, I was up there in the stands, and Eric can attest to it. I went, DJ Shark, do, 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 do.
I mean, for crying out loud, with the connection that he's got with Goff this year, you could hear that song probably maybe once a
Sharknado.
game.
Except for twice a year when y'all play the Packers.
Okay.
And Ben Sarah says if the Lions do well this season, I honestly don't see any of the coaches leaving. They are the type of coaches, players who don't leave unfinished business. They will get their head coaching jobs in time. And I've said that all along. If they don't make it to a Super Bowl in the next 2 years, this coaching staff will stay intact, because Aaron Glenn said a very specific statement at the end of next season. I'm not going anywhere until I'm considered the best defensive coordinator Detroit's ever had.
That's not very hard.
Not at all.
And Ted Baldrick says, great show, guys. I got to go.
Aaron Glenn's going to be a coach next year. I'm telling you. I truly feel that. I think he's going to be a great one at that, too.
I think Aaron Glenn is going to be a great head coach once he gets there, but he said specifically he wants to be.
I know what he said. I know what he
And
said.
Eric Sean says, LOL, yep, you did. And go figure, I was wearing a Jaws movie shirt. And Facebook user says, is Coach Campbell going to play the starters first quarter this Friday night? He has been on the phone with Arthur Smith, and I believe that is the go. They are going to play starters for the first quarter, is what I've heard through
Campbell
all the
actually
grapevine.
confirmed that. He confirmed that in an interview. He said that they will play the starters for about a quarter.
Andrew, this is not a trash talk show. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to see it on here. My show is kept clean for a reason.
Where'd the Cats go?
He just bounced out. I think he saw that and he got upset because he was going to retaliate. I'm pretty sure of it. Oh, nope, he's back. Is your Wi-Fi messing up, Chance?
Yeah, my Wi-Fi messed up. I actually had got a phone call.
Okay. Andrew, this is not a trash talk thing. I do not run a trash talk page. Please do not trash talk my guests. He's a Packers fan, and I said it that way on purpose. He can be as much of a fan as he wants. He can talk about his team as much as he wants. I will ask him questions, and he'll answer them.
I will trash his quarterback every chance I get, but I still love Chance.
I will answer them honestly from an outsider's point of view, how an outsider feels about the team.
Exactly, and I'm fine with that. I still say I don't know if we make the playoffs this year. I think we have a remote possibility of doing it because the division is weaker overall. The Bears are probably the weakest we've ever seen. Minnesota is going through a scheme change from top to bottom, which every time there's a scheme change like that, it's a 3 to 6 week growing pain window, especially when they change the whole defensive scheme from a 4-3 to a 3-4.
Well, that was the only reason I said second in the division, because I think the Packers win the division.
Oh, I've said that already. I think the Packers still win the division because they have got the best talent and the second most coaching continuity in the division. The only team that has better coaching continuity than the Packers this year is the Lions, and that's not a fake statement.
The Lions is the closest thing to getting to the Packers this year. As an honest-to-God statement, the only team I'm worried about in the division this year is the Lions. I think the Lions have a chance to beat us one time this year.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, too. I think they split Green Bay. I think we sweep the Bears. And
I think we split with Minnie.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I'm looking forward to with the NFC North this year? To see which one of you guys is able to keep your quarterback alive when Jordan Davis comes to town.
Well, I will be definitely Goff because he's behind one of the best offensive lines in the whole league.
Yeah, I don't think that's really going to matter. I think this kid's going to be Aaron Donald light.
Jordan Davis has stamina issues. Look at him at Georgia. Look at him.
Wait. I'm going to defend that. They talked about it at the Combine. The GPS tracking that they have, the average NFL defensive tackle only runs 500 yards per game.
But look at
Jordan Davis, when he was on the field, even though he was only on the field 33% of the time, averaged 778 yards a game.
Okay, but look at him against Alabama. Look at how much he was on the field against Alabama, and he was. That's the closest thing to an NFL offense you're going to look at in college is Alabama, and he was not on the field because he could not stay.
And because they game planned against him after the SEC championship when he wrecked that entire team.
But
And after what I saw at practice the other day, I don't think any offensive lineman is going to completely be able to stop him. He had a guy
No, it's
drop
gonna
back
take
for
two
20
bodies.
times, and he picked him up and moved his ass.
but
Right.
now
it's
you're
gonna-
in the NFL. They will scheme around Jordan Davis, and they have masterminds behind scheming around Jordan Davis. If they can scheme around Aaron Donald, they can scheme around Jordan Davis.
How much was the
People around
factor? Was
Aaron Donald
wait. How much of a factor was Aaron Donald in the Rams game versus the Lions?
Because they schemed correctly against Aaron Donald.
That's exactly my point.
Do the same to Jordan Davis, who has.
But you got to think about this. Who's next to Jordan Davis on that line, though? You got Brandon Graham, and you got Fletcher Cox, who's a bad dude himself.
Yeah, Fletcher Cox is a bad dude, but
Plus, they added Hassan Reddick.
it doesn't. Look at who Georgia had on their line, and he still couldn't stay on the field.
Because he was running so much. You don't understand. He was asked about that. He goes, what would happen? He goes, well, when the DNs and the linebackers lost containment and I'm chasing a guy 40 yards downfield and catching him from behind, I needed oxygen.
And he's not wrong there. He was doing more running in one of his average games than the NFL does at all.
It's football. You have to have the stamina to do that. If you want to be great, you have to have the stamina. Look at how much Aaron Donald runs.
200 plus more yards than the average NFL defensive lineman. That's not going to happen in the NFL. If he only has to run the 500 yards, guess what? He will play the whole game.
But what I'm saying is the stamina issues is kind of like injury. If you can't be on the field, you're not a factor. So therefore, if he's not stamina, good enough stamina, if he's not got good enough stamina, that's like being injured. You're not on the field. You're not making an impact. So what's going to be different in the NFL?
Strength conditioning in the NFL is way different than college.
I would say that's not true because in college you have a strength and conditioning coach that's on top of you every day, and in the NFL you have a strength and conditioning coach that depends a lot of your conditioning to be on you. Look at what Gronk did with his videos of a different shirt every day or a different shirt for one workout. I mean,
that was COVID though, man. It doesn't count.
No, it does, because in the NFL you don't have a coach on top of you every day, waking you up at 4:00 in the morning to go do a workout. It is a lot of self motivation.
Well, on that note, I do like what Dan Campbell said about the strength and conditioning of this team. He goes, I didn't want to see anybody coming in overweight. I didn't want to see people coming in underweight. I wanted to see people working out and looking good, and you guys answered the call. That is huge for the Lions themselves.
I'll go. I know this isn't a football reference, but this is a pro to college reference. Look at Zion Williamson in the NBA from college. In college, he had a strength and conditioning coach telling him, hey, you have to be here at 4:30 in the morning in the gym, running and lifting weights every day. He got to the NBA and he swelled up like a balloon.
He hurt his ankle when they moved to New Orleans where they had real food, man.
But he didn't have
That's not a fair comparison. That's not fair.
He didn't have somebody on top of him. That's why he now has a clause in his contract for his weight, because it is in the pros. It is how much you want to be in condition.
Right. It is. You're right. But so far, he's been able to play every day but his rest days for Philly right now. So let's leave it alone until we see what happens when he's on the field. I'm not going to call him Aaron Donald because he could be that type of guy, but we don't know until we see it on the field in game. And every coach schemes around guys that are supposed to be that good is the point. It's a little too early to call the guy Aaron Donald. Let's let him take a few snaps first. Agreed. A 350-pound tackle, you're high.
Jeremy, I'm just going to say I got to jump out, but it has been real good talking with you guys.
It's been great having you on, David. Thank you.
Thanks, David. Nice meeting you.
See you guys later. Have a good show.
Eric, that comment right there, what he just said, if they scheme against Davis with a mass shooting, yes, you'll stop. You'll be able to occupy him. But then again, like I said, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, and then Hassan Reddick.
And
Then
Lions have more depth than they did have. That's true. Oh, strength and conditioning. Are you serious? Have you ever been on the sidelines either? I have. JP can attest. I have seen stuff you have never seen. Holy crap. This is the most flatulence I have ever seen. As far as the stamina thing, the D line in the NFL is getting rotated more and more. Maybe not quite like rolling lines in hockey, but Khalil Mack would have been more effective at 600 snaps a season than 900. Yes, sir. James Burgess says, see ya, David. Andrew Crosby says, one pride. And Eric Sean says, see ya, Pike. Do the Packers have any injuries? Well, they got a couple here and there. Some of the guys have they had 4 guys that returned off of the PUP list, including Sammy Watkins. Thank God, because Watson's on it now because he just had knee surgery. I hope he's okay. I don't wish ill will on anybody. I don't wish ill will on any fans. I'm not that guy. And Richard Head said something earlier that I'm going to repeat. Shaking my head. You don't trash talk the division champs until you knock the crown off their head.
He's not wrong.
Amen.
Unless
Amen.
you're NFC East and then it's F everybody else all the time.
Yeah, well, the NFC East, you guys had the Commanders win the division with a 7-win season.
You're not wrong.
Rogers DMT is under investigation now. Ooh.
Well, yeah, because the dude was doing psychedelics. I don't have anything against that, man. It's your off season. Oh well, you're not getting tested at that time. It happens.
Yeah, but if it's still in your system when you're at camp, there's an issue.
DMT is not a banned substance, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
It is.
Well, I mean, he's in the off season, so who cares?
That's what I say, man. Well, actually, no, I'm not going to say that they should be able to do whatever they want in the off season.
Oh, okay,
it's just that kid from the Ravens that just overdosed on the coke that was laced with fentanyl.
DMT.
I'm gonna differ. It's still the black and blue division. The reason why it's the black and blue division is not because of the Lions. It's because every year, every single one of our teams has played each other so hard that somebody ends up injured every damn game.
Well, I think, okay, Rogers did an interview.
Richard Head said, except the Cowboys, F the Cowboys, because I hate the Cowboys with the passion.
Rogers did an interview on PMI or whatever it is, on Barstool, whatever. And he was talking, he got asked the question of, do you think you lose in the playoffs so much because of how weak your division is? And he said, this is what he said, that he thinks the opposite, that he does bad in the playoffs because the division is good enough to where, like you said, they beat each other up and they play hard, and the division is so competitive that it wears on them and it takes them farther in the playoffs, but takes them out earlier in the playoffs because they're.
And I'm going to make a statement right now, and you know it's a fact for the last 5 years. The worst team in the division versus the Packers have been the Bears. The Lions have the best record against the Packers in the last 5 years at 5-5. Minnesota has the second best record at 4-5-1. Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears. 1-9.
He's like 26-5 against the Bears.
And it's almost half and half with the other two teams. Because it's not even close.
You want to know, okay, in that same interview, though, you want to know why he said he's so good against the Bears? Because he grew up watching Chicago teams and idolizing Chicago teams, that he wanted to beat Chicago teams. And I think this is also, he said that Chicago is known for sports, and he wants to go, every time he goes to Chicago, he wants to go in there and beat them because of that reason right there.
Dan, a viewer has requested that you show your face on camera.
You don't want to see it, I promise.
I'm outside.
He's outside in the dark. He's not ashamed. He's outside, and it got dark real quick there.
I'm East Coast, man.
Right now, as far as it's concerned, if you look at the odds, It's Hutch. I think they even got Sauce Gardner up there, Devin Lloyd, Jermaine Johnson, Jordan Davis, and Trayvon Walker are the 5 best odds to get Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Watch for the Packers rookie.
He's a
Quay
linebacker.
Walker? Quay
Yes.
Walker? He's not getting it.
Clay Walker, watch. Just watch.
Not Clay. It's Quay. Quay.
He will surprise you. He might not be Defensive Rookie of the Year, but he will fill in a gap that the Packers have needed. And that defense around him is so good that it will boost him to be a next level talent.
Okay. Facebook user, do the Packers have a weak schedule? Yes, they have the same weak schedule that we have. But the problem is the other teams that they match up with outside of the 2 divisions we play are the number 1 teams of every division. Correct?
Yes.
And that's not blowing smoke. That's why they've got the toughest schedule in the division. Next would be the Vikings. Then it's the Bears. Then it's the Lions. The bad part is, as bad as the Bears are, they actually have the hardest schedule out of anybody in the division, is what they've ranked it in NFL Network.
About time.
You know what I hate about the Bears having the worst team in the division, though? Every year we're going to have to play the number 1 draft pick.
Mm-hmm. Well, we didn't have the number 1 draft pick.
Well, I'm just hoping that they do the same thing that y'all did and draft a bunch of busts.
Yeah, I love Brad Holmes, and Brad Holmes hasn't drafted a bust yet.
Outside of Matthew Stafford and Calvin Johnson.
And Barry Sanders, and Billy Sims, and Herman Moore.
But
shall I name some more that weren't busts for you? Lem Barney, Dick Nitrain Lane,
I'm saying
Melfar.
in recent years.
Okay. Well, we don't have Matt Millen, Mayhew, or Boob Quinn up there, so that's going to help a lot.
Matt Millen should have been a coach, never a freaking GM.
The Bears are who we thought they were. Yeah, it's crap.
What's helping y'all as a team, though, is having an owner that cares about the team now.
Yeah,
About
I
time.
mean,
Yeah.
Sheila was back there when her mom got it, and she wasn't happy when we got Bob Quinn. She wasn't happy when we got Matt Patricia. You could see it. She physically looked sick standing next to her mother. And the W.G. Brady, who was fired from ESPN and now works for Detroit Sports Nation, that tells you all you need to know about his media credibility. Because in 2018, when we hired Patricia, he wrote this glowing article talking about all the reasons we should have hired Dan Campbell instead of Matt Patricia for ESPN. We hired him after Patricia, and he used all the same talking points and turned them into negatives on why we made a big mistake hiring Dan Campbell. You can't use the same exact article, changing 100 words to make someone look bad.
Hey, can I
It's not right.
topic right fast?
Sure.
I am a Jordan Davis fan because I'm a Georgia fan, and I will prove it by the shirt my daughter's wearing.
Uh-oh. Go Dogs.
So I'm rooting for Jordan Davis, but I say all that in honesty.
I know. And I understand that. But he was specifically asked that. And then even the guy that does all the scouting, he goes, the reason why Jordan Davis won't bust is because of everything we said. The rotation that they have with D tackles in the NFL, they won't be out on the field as much anyways. The fact that he won't have to run for his life because he's surrounded by better talent around him than what he had in college.
That's also why I'm a Quay Walker fan, and I think he'll do good, is because he played for Georgia.
I know it's why you think he'll do good, but he didn't have the stats to back up a first-round pick. He was supposed to be, at the earliest, was 34 to the Lions.
So you're a homer is what you're saying, Dad.
No,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's homering it a little bit.
Georgia had the best defense in college football, and
Eh.
his stats weren't measured up
But
to
the
that.
best defensive player from Georgia comes out this year, Will Anderson Jr.
Oh, no doubt.
Uh-huh.
they had the best defense in college football, and his stats reflect that whole team on defense was so good that it took away from him padding stats.
That was not Adam Rank. That was Nick Wright that said the Bears were winning 12 games this year.
Drugs are bad, okay?
And Jelani Tavai talking about Boob
The
Quinn.
Bears win 12 if the Bears win 12 games this year, I'll jump off my house head first.
If the Bears win 12 games this year, every Lions fan should be seriously considering eating a bullet, because that means that we got swept again.
That's what
that
I'm.
means we got. Yeah.
They're going to sweep the Packers, and Rodgers owns the Bears, so that's 2 losses right there.
I'm not gonna lie. I really want to see the Bears just beat the Packers just to say fuck you to Rodgers.
Actually, I want to make the announcement now. Since the Lions preseason game is Friday night at 6 and won't be done at 8 o'clock, my show won't be until Saturday, because I am not going to do a podcast during a Lions game, preseason or regular season. I think it's ridiculous.
I thought you wanted to stream the games.
I am not streaming preseason games because the score in preseason games means about as much as the score and whose line is it anyways.
How are you going to stream? Like, real question: how are you going to stream the games without copyright from NFL Films?
There's ways around it.
Because that's like big time, like lawsuit thing.
I work until 5. I get out, I get cleaned up, I eat. So it'll be the same time as I usually do. It'll be 8 o'clock Saturday night. That is when I will be doing my show. And anyone that's on here, if you want to be a part of it, so we can discuss the preseason games that have been played, as well as any NFL news, I'm kind of going to do it a little bit more. Plus, we're going to do a game recap of the preseason game versus the Falcons.
I want to see Drake London show y'all why he should have been the first wide receiver taken.
The Bears winning 12. What are they smoking? Whatever it is, put it down. All I know is that after watching that family fun fest, my Kool-Aid shot glass is raised from a shot glass to a tumbler. I've been taking the Kool-Aid in little shots because I've said a 7 to 10 win window. Chance has heard me say it quite a few times on different formats, and he laughed at it. But after seeing Hard Knocks and everything you've seen so far, do you not agree with that win window now?
I think the Lions are 7 to 10, closer to 10.
That's what I thought.
And the closer to 10 is they have a possibility of beating the Packers one time.
Richard Head says, I'm off every weekend. The skilled trades allowed me to have a life. Hallelujah. If you want to be on this Saturday, send me an email. It's smokinjeremyb@gmail.com. It says just like it sounds, no G in the smoking.
I just thought of something funny.
Patrick Sampy says, what up, players? Tom Brady? Yeah, he's back. I know Patrick Sampy. How you doing, buddy? He's one of my pool playing friends from out of Florida.
You want to know a hot take? You want to know a hot take I have?
What's that?
That is probably pretty unpopular. Brady loses in the first round of the playoffs this year.
Again?
Yeah.
Oh, that was second round. I'm sorry.
Well, he'll win the division, but I don't think he'll get enough to get a first round bye. But I think he'll first round.
The Rams even making it to the NFC Championship hinges on whether or not Matthew Stafford is diagnosed to have Tommy John surgery. If he has to have Tommy John surgery, he'll be out the season. The Rams season just went in the toilet.
I see what you did there, Jeremy. Hinges on his elbow. Very clever. Very, very
clever. Yes. I used my grammar properly. What are Rumble's opinions? He's been quiet. Brian Roy is asking you, Lorenzo.
Oh yeah, my opinions, of course. I see the Lions improving. I say I'm guessing 8 to 9 wins this year. Just based off of the sheer will of this team and just the motivating factors of our head coaches, who, believe it or not, are former players and who are dogs at their positions. That's a lot, because these guys can actually know what these players are going through and know how to combat some of these nagging injuries and what different training things to do and how to rehab them better, and then just technique. Now, of course, last night's Hard Knocks and what Jeremy and David were saying earlier about them not tackling. Those are things that need to get addressed and quickly because, like we've already said, we're in the black and blue division. And I remember last year a certain running back out of Chicago, Montgomery, was running all over us.
Until
Montgomery?
until Jalen Reeves-Maben took the first kneecap bite of the season and
Yeah.
took him out of the game.
So
Well, and
That was a bitch move.
another hot take that I have, and this one's about the Lions. If the Lions can stay healthy and get hot towards the end of the season, I could see them possibly winning a wild card game, depending on who they play and how seeding lines up and everything like that. Possibly winning a wild card game.
Here, you want to know
I'm looking
popular
more
opinion?
forward to. Go ahead. I'm sorry, buddy.
I'm sorry. I was going to give him an unpopular opinion real quick, just to kind of spit on Chance a bit here. Mike Evans is the best receiver in the league over Devontae Adams.
Oh,
Yikes!
I mean,
Hey,
I'll agree with
In the past 5 years, it's the truth. He's got him right.
I'll agree with you. Evans is an Aggie. I mean, go ahead.
Yep. I mean,
Devontae
Evans now is a Adams now is a Raider. Mike Evans is a dog, and that's the truth. He is probably top 5 in the league easily. I think Godwin. I would have loved it if they wouldn't have been re-signed Mike Evans at the same time, because I wanted to see Godwin pull a Juju Smith-Schuster and get worse without a true number 1 next to him.
oh, man.
Devontae Adams went from the best quarterback in his division to the worst quarterback in his division.
I don't think Derek Carr is the worst quarter. I think it's Russell Wilson.
No,
Russell Wilson's the worst quarterback in that division, dude. He is not the Russell Wilson that he was.
Derek Carr was his college teammate.
I think Derek Carr is a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to put that out there, too.
Yeah, Derek Carr was his former college teammate. So I think
Derek Carr put up top 10 numbers last year. Yeah. What did Russell Wilson do when he wasn't hurt? Not much.
Hey, what I got to say? Derek Carr put up top 10 numbers with a used car salesman named fucking Hunter Renfrow.
And he's got the best deep ball percentage in the league.
Yep.
That guy can throw the ball down the league with
him, Tom Brady, Matt Stafford, Patrick Mahomes up until last year. Last year he kind of fell off the deep ball. And Josh Allen. Those are the best deep ball throwers in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody asked about our new offensive tackle, Kendrick Lamb, we picked up. Kendrick Lamb is a dog of a swing tackle. I think he will make the team. In that point, put Matt Nelson on that bubble.
Yeah. Dan Campbell ain't playing around this year with this roster. He wants competitors.
Matt Stafford has extreme tendonitis. Kelly Stafford's been posting about it. Eric Shawn talked about he has some sources that says he's way more hurt. And if he plays and he doesn't have Tommy John surgery, it's still up in the air. The diagnosis is not out there yet. So until we hear what it is, I can't say he's having it, but there's a chance he'll have Tommy John surgery.
It's because of the way he throws the ball. He throws the ball more like a pitcher than a quarterback.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the bad part is he was not a pitcher in high school. He was a catcher for Clayton Kershaw. So get it right, people.
That explains a lot.
But he was a damn good one.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was. Yeah, he was.
Lamb is a backup. What the? Andrew, you're about ready to get put in timeout. Who is he going to start over? Decker or Sewell? Come on.
No, this O-line is very versatile. So we witnessed that with our rookie last year. He played the other side of the ball when we asked him to, and then he went back to his side that we drafted him for.
And Richard Head is given a hot take. The Broncos will finish last in that division.
I think so too.
Maybe. Granted, Russell Wilson isn't Russell Wilson anymore, but the Broncos defense is still really good.
Yeah, they do. They got Surtain at cornerback.
Very, very good.
Yeah, they're Surtain at cornerback. I think they're gonna still do pretty decent.
And Cortland Sutton's not a sleeper receiver. He is a really good receiver.
So,
but he has a DUI. He's got a DUI. He's worried about having a suspension. Jerry Judy's been on and off the pup list.
Everybody and their mom has a DUI in the NFL.
You
But
see
they're
Marshawn
talking
Lynch
about
got one?
suspension. Yeah, Marshawn Lynch got one,
Oh,
and Frank Gore got arrested for domestic violence today.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
drug that
man.
naked chick across the hotel lobby by her hair.
Oh, geez.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Well, I saw that. The first thing I said is they're trying to arrest this guy. Ain't you ever heard of role playing?
Jeez.
That's messed up.
That being
Okay,
said,
I love Frank Gore, man.
we've had a great show. We've had a great time. We talked a little crap about the teams that we can talk crap about because there aren't many out there until the Lions start beating some people. But I will say this for all these Viking fans out there that keep calling me and my Lions basement scum. That
Suck it.
basement scum with a 45% team made up of practice squad guys made y'all lose in week 14. So suck it.
Hey, wait a minute. Time out. We don't talk about week 14, JB.
I do.
No, we don't talk about that when I'm around. You already know why.
Oh, stop it. You're just salty over a parlay loss bet.
And let the team say I'm on.
$20,000 parlay bet from those.
And let the church say I'm on.
I'm on. Ross St. Brown.
Hey, y'all watch for Lazard. Lazard's going to have a big year this year.
Right now, Detroit's offense is going to outdo our defense. I do look for improvement. I have said all along, if we can get out of the 20s to the low 19s with our defense and our offense jumps back up to where they're 14th or better, that means with a weaker schedule, 8 winnable games, 4 toss-ups, and 5 games that we might have a chance in, but more than likely not. That's the 17th game schedule and how I broke it down.
You got him down for a loss week 12, right, JB?
Who's week 12? Is that the New York Giants? Only if the field beats us.
So it's a loss, is what I'm saying. We got that. We're agreeing.
The Giants are going to lose 12 games this year.
Unless Galladay
The Giants are going to what?
Lose 12 games this year.
I as much as I hate to say I agree with them, I put them on a 4-7 win total for this year. And I did, Dan.
Closer to like 6-7 wins, but I don't think they're going to lose 12 games. Chance is an asshole.
Galladay's got to remember how to catch.
But anyway, I wanted to say this about that field. That field is horrible. The Jets had practice there the other day.
All I got to say,
Beck fractured
3 years in a row between the two teams that play there, 33 players had lower leg extremity injuries due to that field.
Makai Beckton, the Jets left tackle 2 days ago, fractured his kneecap, taking a step back on that turf.
They still don't have a worse field than Washington.
No. The worst field in the league is the Meadowlands.
Yeah, that turf is horrible.
Meadowlands is cursed, though, because it's in New Jersey with a New York name.
Yep. You're not wrong. East Rutherford, New Jersey.
Oh, bad. It's the Jimmy Hoffa curse.
It's the Jimmy Hoffa curse.
It's the curse of that new damn stadium. If they would have kept the Meadowlands instead of building Xanadu, it would have been way better.
That carpet in New Jersey is god-awful. Not as bad as the old Philly one, but close. Hey, yes, you're absolutely right. Until Vets Field was shut down, that was one of the worst fields in the league. All it took was a light rain, and nobody could get their footing. And it's kind of the same thing because of how it drains and how that field is built in East Rutherford, New Jersey. That field does the same thing when it's wet.
Because it's New Jersey, it's always wet.
Y'all could have got a new field if y'all beat the Jets. All y'all had to do was beat the Jets.
Yeah. If the Lions come out of the Giants game with no injuries, I consider that a win. As do I. I said those 2 games being in New York might be the bane of the rest of the season for Detroit because we play them within a 4-week span, and it scares the hell out of me.
It's okay. Only one more year until we replace that turf.
Eric Shawn says only Linda Lovelace carpet has a worse cure.
Oh, man.
Whoa, time out. JB.
Oh, God.
JB, I had a post on my Facebook yesterday, and I was kind of busting balls with Chance a little bit about Aaron Rodgers. And I made that Aaron Rodgers in the NFC Championship game chokes as much as Jenna Hayes does, and he didn't get that reference.
Oh my God. Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Before my time.
Well, it
Before your
actually,
time.
that field is to have a major renovation as of what, 2024, or is it 2023?
After this season.
2023, it'll be done. LOL at Loveless. Goddamn, almost food Ezekiel all over the place. JB, you just choked, unlike Linda. Yeah, I just did my best impersonation of Aaron Rodgers in the NFC Championship game.
Oh.
Hey, I can talk about Aaron Rodgers in the NFC Championship game as much as y'all want.
And now I'm going to say,
But
in the NFC Championship games he's lost, it's been against San Francisco every time. You want to know why he loses to San Francisco? That's where he was born and raised, and he was a lifelong 49ers fan, and he just doesn't have the heart to beat them.
He has more
49ers own Aaron Rodgers.
Appearances.
Yeah. Because the 49ers own his punk ass. He couldn't put up more than 13 points. Come on.
More playoff losses than y'all do appearances.
That is not true. He has lost 9 times. The Lions have been in the playoffs in the Super Bowl era 12 times.
He's 11-10 in the playoffs.
And we've been to 12 playoff games with a 1-11 record.
Okay.
In the Super Bowl era.
He's 11-10 in the playoffs. What is the Lions in the last 40 years in the playoffs?
I just said it.
How many rings did he get out of those freaking 11 wins? 1.
11. How many wins did he get out of those?
God damn it! I know people have been married and have more rings than that motherfucker.
Hey, that's why he can't keep a woman. That he can never give him a ring.
Shit, JB got more rings than him.
Hey, it's all right. Because guess what? We make the playoffs consistently.
And if the Bears could play better, you wouldn't. How's that?
No. If the Lions play better, we wouldn't either. If the Vikings play better, we wouldn't either. But y'all don't.
Oh man.
Oh, you're welcome, guys. San Francisco doesn't choke. They're used to open throat games. I meant open scrimmages. That was great. That was good.
No, honestly, I think LaFleur, just out of those coaches, LaFleur's just not as good as what's his name is over at San Francisco.
Yeah, Shanahan. Yes,
Kyle Shanahan's a damn good coach.
Kyle Shanahan's a damn good coach, but like LaFleur, he has not gotten it done in the big games.
Well,
that's all I can say.
Rodgers has said it. He said it in the PMT interview that I listened to with him. He does not like LaFleur's offense because he.
Oh, where'd you go, Chance?
I'm back.
Okay.
I got a phone call. He can't get in a rhythm in that offense because there's too much motion. He said he likes the motion, but there's too much motion. So therefore, he can't get in a rhythm in LaFleur's offense. And he's told LaFleur that, and that's the reason why it looks choppy at times. And he said that it is a very beatable offense. That's why he does not like LaFleur's offense.
Well, guys, I hate to cut it short, but I have to jump on with the Sports Buffoons in 15 minutes to give a review of our Detroit Lions to them. That's an AFC West podcast, mostly Chiefs based. So I got to listen to another team that's going to trash talk the Lions because we don't make the playoffs enough. But I'll listen to it and I'll take it because it is facts. But the facts of the matter is the Lions have been to the playoffs since 1970 12 times. So, yes, they have been in 13 games. So that being said, we still have more games than Rodgers has losses.
Not by much.
It's not my show, buddy, or I would, but maybe next times. I will post the link in Motor City Kneecap Biters because anytime I do a show, I post the link after it's done because I like getting my face out there, even though it is a face for radio.
That ain't a lie.
All right, guys. I got to get out of here. I appreciate it, JB. It was good talking to y'all.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love
man. Nice
talking
meeting you guys,
football.
man.
Chance, you know you're always welcome. I do these later podcasts so guys like you that live out of state can have a chance to do it. Lorenzo here is in Las Vegas. If I was doing it any earlier, he probably wouldn't be able to do it.
Well,
But love you guys. Just remember, I'm going to say it again. I say this at the end of every show, and I mean every word of it. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before, because that's the only way we can make the world a better place. Unless you're talking to a rival fan base, then F them and just go on with your life.
and fuck the Cowboys.
Every day and twice on Sunday.
Damn right.
This has been
Take it easy,
Kneecap
guys.
Biting with Smokin' Jeremy B. For David Pike, Chance Brown, Lions Rumble 81, and Dan Leonard. I want to say have a great evening and go Lions!